Hi guys, happy Friday. I am so thrilled to work with each and every one of you through the Faster Way to Fat Loss program. If I don't know you personally, let me introduce myself. My name is Lindsay Kotelnicki. I'm most proud of being a wife and a mom of two, and I absolutely love this program. I believe this will be the last program you're investing in because you are going to learn so much. We're going to have a blast. It is a challenging program, but I know that you have it in you to go through this program because our focus is progress over perfection. So let's get into it. Here's what I want to share with us today is just to do a quick overview of the program and get everyone acclimated, answer some of the most frequently asked questions. And of course, I will be available in the group for any questions that come up along the way. So in order to effectively burn fat, we must eat the right foods at the right time for the right reasons. So that is the right amounts of carbs, proteins, and fats, also known as our macronutrients or macros. We must strength train, lift heavy to develop lean calorie burning muscle. We should engage in fasted cardio in addition to metabolic training. So that's like HIIT workouts, Tabata, things like that. We also need to maintain a proper mindset. So I'm going to kind of run through the guide. I have to say, first and foremost, your safety is my top priority. So as we kind of go into this, please consider what you personally can handle as we ramp up, and don't be afraid to modify any of the workouts to your level. Do the best you can with what you have, meaning whether it's equipment or if you're at home or at a gym, and to take it easy when it comes to the workouts. Nutrition is our priority. That's where you're going to see your results. The gym, we will do the most effective workouts for the time that we have, but our nutrition is our priority. So I want all of you to really kind of consume the information at your own pace. This is not a diet. This is not all or nothing. There is no failing. It's all about just making small strides each and every day towards progress, because we have been conditioned by a lot of things that tell us that in the health and wellness industry that we have to restrict, that we have to cut back, that we need to be killing ourselves, and that's just not true. So I'm hoping that we will all learn a great deal through this program, and I'm so thrilled to get started. Okay, so I'm actually just going to pull up the program so I have it in front of me. If some of us are just getting into the group and are just getting into the portal for the first time, as you'll see when you first log in, to the left-hand side is our comprehensive program guide. I want you to start there. You will get to learn the kind of what and why behind the how when it comes to this program. So if you haven't yet taken your measurements and done the client assessment that I sent you, please start with that. I truly believe that taking photos and measurements are the best way to track progress, not the scale. And I am really adamant about this. I despise the scale. It is a liar, because in our focus is on fat loss, not weight loss. There's a huge difference. When we focus on weight loss, guess what? We're going to be losing water weight, muscle mass, as well as body fat. If we focus on fat loss, that means we are also looking to maintain, if not increase, our muscle mass. And we want to do that because when we have muscle on our body, muscle is like a fat furnace. Muscle is what is the biggest factor that determines our metabolic rate. So if your metabolism is running hot and running high or not. So muscle is super important. And as we've all probably heard, muscle weighs more than fat. So stepping on a scale on a daily basis is a really unhealthy thing, because the number staring back at you really doesn't tell you anything valuable. How you feel in your clothes, how you think about yourself, how you sleep at night, as far as are you sleeping well, your energy levels, how your clothes fit. All of those non-scale things and measurables are what's truly important. So other than to start this program to get your starting point weight on the scale, I am asking you for the next 6 weeks, do not step on the scale. Because again, that number pointing back at you is not going to ever tell you something you don't already know. You know, so don't let that number define your day or make you feel great or make you feel worse. It really doesn't matter. So in fact, I actually went to the doctor this week, and you know, when they have you step on the scale, I'm like, I'll step on there, but I'm not going to look, and please don't tell me. I said I don't need to know, because I feel great. No number is going to make me feel worse or better. So, okay, so off my high horse on that one, let's get into the program. So we are going to do a few different things. We are going to engage in carb cycling. Carb cycling is just an intentional variation of your carbohydrate intake. So we'll have low carb days and high carb days. The low carb days are all about helping our body use our fat for energy. So essentially what happens is when we eat carbohydrates, our body turns that into glucose and stores that as glycogen in our muscles. And when we lower our carb intake on these low carb days, our body's going to burn through that glycogen storage and then turn towards our fat or our triglycerides for energy. So we pair those days with speed burst workouts or sprints or high intensity interval training or HIIT, because those workouts go to help us burn through that glycogen. It's really our fat burning days when we are doing low carb. And then we offset that with our higher carb days, and those are the days that we have paired with our strength training. So we're going to engage in a strength training. Don't be intimidated by strength training. You want to do whatever is challenging to you. So some of you may be just easing back into working out. Again, do what is challenging to you. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, and just do the best you can. And I know we have many busy women here, so if you don't have time to do the whole workout, they tend to be about 35 to 45 minutes long. Don't fret. Just set aside whatever amount of time you have, if it's 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and just do as much as you can of the workout in the time that you have allotted. So I really want everyone to just get the point that this is not all or nothing. It's just about doing the best you can with what you can in our very busy lives. So as we get into those higher carb days, that's where we kind of shift our thinking and eat all the carbs that we have allotted to us in MyFitnessPal. And why we do the carb variation is because carbs are excellent for our hormonal health. It helps with our thyroid output, helps with our energy. And so carbs are really important. But we've already put our body into fat burning mode on low carb day. On high carb day, we are going to do strength training, meaning we are going to work our muscles. So we need to restore them and refeed them with carbohydrates as well as proteins and healthy fats. I just love the variation, and I think you guys will too. Please let me know if you have any questions. Throughout the program, we are going to be doing daily intermittent fasting. Don't let the F word scare you. Fasting is quite it's been around forever, and it essentially is that our body is either in two states. It's either fasted or it's fed. And we don't reach the fasted state until 8 to 12 hours after our body is done digesting. So many of us don't even allow ourselves to get to the fasted state because we're eating until 10 or 11 at night, and then waking up and having breakfast at 6 a.m., and that's never enough time. So what that means is our body is only burning through what we're currently eating, and it's storing everything extra. And if we allow ourselves to get to the fasted state, that is another key area why our body's going to look towards our fat stores for energy. So again, in the guide, you'll see all kind of the what and the why behind the how. And so look through that. Let me know if you have any questions. So I'm just going to kind of take a look at what this next week during week 1 is going to look like. We start off every week with the same food cycle of 2 low carb days. So Monday and Tuesday, we're going to do low carb. What we're going to do is our goal is to eat fewer than 50 grams of net carbs on those days. So what that is just your total carbohydrates minus your fiber equals your net carbs. And in MyFitnessPal, there's a tab for nutrients. It's under nutrition. You go to nutrients and you will see kind of what your allotment is for the day and what you've eaten. And then so you can just see your carbs minus your fiber to kind of know what you're shooting for to stay under 50 grams of net carbs. It takes some practice to get your carbs low if you are not used to having low carb type of nutrition. So what we're going to do is we're going to work up to having a feeding window, ideally like an 8-hour feeding window. But if you're new to intermittent fasting, just take it one day at a time and see if you can skip breakfast and see how long you can go in the morning before you eat. If you can make it till 9 o'clock before you eat, great. If you can make it till 10 o'clock, great. But whatever time you kind of end up breaking your fast, have breakfast, that's when the next day I want you to try to beat that by an hour and try to work your way up to getting close to noon before you break your fast. And again, try to keep your eating for the day within an 8-hour window. So on low carb days, we avoid starchy carbs, root vegetables, grains. I want you to try to eat protein throughout the day or throughout your feeding window. And at each meal, eat lots of greens, lots of leafy types of greens. When you're hungry, eat. And when you're full, by all means, stop. You're going to just track your food in MyFitnessPal. There is a video that I posted from earlier in the week, but I will just be sure to check that out if you haven't ever tracked your food in MyFitnessPal. My goal is for you to, hit those protein goals every day of the week. Protein is so important. And then we're going to vary our carbs. You will notice that on low carb days, our fat is going to be higher than what's allotted to us. So don't be afraid to eat a few more proteins and eat some good healthy fats on low carb day. I love having bacon on my salad or bacon with some food on low carb days. I love having avocado. I'm sure to use, coconut oil or olive oil on my vegetables if I'm roasting vegetables. That's the day that I definitely have almonds and nuts for snacks or peanut butter. I'm a huge fan. I love peanut butter. That's one of my vices. But what I'll do is I'll have peanut butter with celery. On the other days, not low carb days, I would be having peanut butter with like apples or peanut butter with bananas. So it just takes a few minor switches to lower your carb intake on those days, but don't be afraid to have those fats and definitely good protein throughout those days. Let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything else about low carb days. I don't think so. So once we hit Wednesday, after 2 back-to-back days of low carb, you're going to be ready for those carbs. And I tell you what, I should prepare you. These first few weeks of low carbs, you may kind of be detoxing. We're going to be eating a lot more whole food nutrition than many of us have been used to. And so it does take some adjusting. So just know that show yourself grace through this process. It's super important to drink a lot of water to make sure we're staying hydrated, to also help our body flush out kind of just the junk of processed foods that maybe we've been eating for some time now. So, you may feel a little sluggish. You may feel a little ornery or a little crabby. It just takes some getting used to. But I promise you, as you start to transition from a sugar burner to a fat burner, your energy levels are going to soar. So just kind of trust the process and hang in there. So like I said, by the time we get to Wednesday, we're ready to refeed and fill back up those glycogen stores. So by all means, do so on those days. What I want you to do is do our kind of total body strength training is on Wednesdays. Take it easy because you haven't had carbs in 2 days. So it's not the day to completely kill it in the gym or kill it with your workout. Just do the best you can, but it is a total body strength training. And then eat those good healthy carbs throughout the day in your feeding window, ideally from noon to 8. But when I say our feeding window, you can personalize that to you. So if you know that you like to eat dinner early and you just assume wrap up your feeding window earlier than 8 p.m., maybe you'd prefer that be at 6 p.m., then maybe you start your feeding window a couple hours earlier, or vice versa. You could even shift it back later. There are plenty of times where I know we have a late dinner or event going on that I'll push my fast into the 1 o'clock, 2 p.m. time frame because I know I'm going to be eating at 9 or 10 p.m. So just know that there is flexibility to accommodate real life and make it work for you. So regular calorie day, regular macro day on Wednesday, same thing on Thursday. Thursdays are one of my favorite days. It is back day. Ladies, having a strong back is so important. It's our second largest muscle group. It's one of those biggest fat furnaces for us. So when we engage our largest muscle groups, that's what helps us burn more fat. So love, love, love back day. Just do the best you can and eat your full macros. Should have a pretty proportionate type of a day. And then by Friday, it's time for a rest. So Fridays, we typically do an active rest and recovery day or a lower macro day. So typically, if you're taking the day off or doing some low intensity exercise, we would reduce our macros overall by 25%. So if MyFitnessPal tells you you should be eating 100 grams of protein on your normal macro days, 25% less than that would be 75. So you would do 75 grams of protein is what you'd be shooting for on those days. But, and kind of do that across your proteins, fats, and carbs. But in general, I just try to reduce a little bit. It could be just that I have 1 tablespoon of peanut butter instead of 2, 2 eggs instead of 3. I just do a few little minor adjustments to eat a little bit less because my activity level isn't as high. But it's a great day for a walk. It's a great day to, just take off, do some stretching. And then Saturday, I love Saturday because it's leg day. Legs, our buns are our biggest muscle groups. So we can really engage those larger muscles. We're going to fatigue those muscles and tear those tiny muscle fibers, which means it's a great day to feed those muscles so they come back stronger and leaner and burning more. And so that's also the day that we kind of intentionally have so kind of our fun foods or those discretionary calories. It's not a full cheat day, but that's the day that I'll do donuts with the kids after my leg day workout, or we'll do date night. So I'll save and I'll know I want to have a couple drinks with my husband or whatever. So pick your poison, whatever your favorite things are. Just know you can absolutely eat your favorite things, but be intentional about it. So I hope that is helpful. So leg day, those workouts are killer. You're going to feel it. You're going to get amazing summer shorts. Legs are coming soon. So that's really fun. And then by Sunday is another active rest day. So you can pare back a little bit on your macros or just try to eat a pretty balanced day. Another great day for a low intensity workout, something like a walk or a jog or a bike ride. But don't get your heart rate up too high and just take it easy and allow your body some time to rest and recover. Oftentimes I just take Sunday off altogether. And just normal busy life is enough activity for me, whether it's cleaning the house or chasing after the kiddos or playing with them or going on a bike ride, things like that. Okay, so that's kind of what our typical week looks like. A few special circumstances I want to mention. So this is flexible. So I have women that are all over the globe that are doing this program, women that are successful executives that are traveling internationally, or stay-at-home moms, or nurses working third shift. And so this program is meant to be flexible, accommodate real life, and truly be a lifestyle. So if you know that you can't work out on Thursdays for back day, message me. We can do some tailoring to shift your days around. The big thing is we want to keep the way we have our food paired with our workouts. And so how that fits on the calendar can be completely personalized to you. But in general, this is kind of the ideal food cycle. Okay, so a couple things I like to touch on. Intermittent fasting in the mornings, if we're trying to make it until noon before we eat, you can drink lots of water, black coffee ideally, tea is wonderful. You can drink bone broth, you can drink kombucha, that's fine. Our goal is essentially to keep our calories under 50 calories. For people that are hardcore intermittent fasting experts, they would say if you have anything besides water or black coffee is that you would be breaking your fast. But let's just be realistic. It's okay to have a little bit of those things like bone broth or kombucha. I'll drink a lot of water, a lot of coffee. I like sparkling water, so I'll drink some of that. I'll have tea. You can also have, this is a big one, branched chain amino acids, so BCAAs. Just be mindful, and I can share like 3 that I recommend that are excellent for being more all natural, no sugars added, no dyes added, things like that, because they essentially have no calories. So they are great. And if you're not familiar with BCAAs, BCAAs are branched chain amino acids. They are the building blocks of protein. So it's excellent for muscle recovery, helps with muscle soreness, to really mitigate that, as well as that helps us feel not as hungry also. So if you're kind of adjusting to the fasting window, BCAAs during your fast is awesome. Let's see, what else? I know there are a couple specific questions in the group, so I will be sure to direct or answer those directly so everyone can see those. I absolutely love in the guide that it shows you food logs or sample food logs for each of the days. So you don't have, this is not a prescriptive diet. You don't have to eat exactly or any of the things that are laid out for you. This is just a suggestion of what a low carb day may look like, or some of the foods you may want to choose on low carb day or on regular macro day. If you need ideas, I am happy to share. I will be and try to log all of my food on like Instagram stories, and I link those to Facebook stories so you can kind of see what I eat throughout the day. Let's see what else. There is also the sample, is it a cookbook? That's what it is. The sample cookbook, so you can see some of the recipes that are recommended from the Faster Way to Fat Loss. And if you kind of go back in the portal, you'll see right next to the comprehensive guide is our workouts. Show me the workouts. I highly recommend you go in and look at the workout for the day before you get started, and click on each link to see the demonstrations of the moves from our the founder of the Faster Way to Fat Loss, Amanda Tress. She's awesome. So you'll be able to see all of the demonstrations of each move under each week, under each day, which is really nice. Let's see what else. I think that's all I'm going to cover in this video. I hope this has been helpful. Please, again, don't ever hesitate to ask questions in the group or to private message me directly. I'm happy to assist you as you get more familiar and more comfortable with this. Please show yourself grace through this program. It just takes a bit of time to get acclimated, and I know you can do this. And I guess the only last thing I want to touch on are just my expectations for the group, and that is that you show up every day. Track your macros, or let me know how you're doing with the workouts, or if you miss, that's okay. Just show up in the group, stay engaged. That's the only way that I can serve you better, is if I know what's going on. So, you know, we're going to have a lot of great times together and a lot of success, but there will also be days where you feel like you maybe you missed the mark, and that's okay. But just show up in the group, get right back on the horse, and we'll move forward together. Next thing is to just be supportive of one another and stay positive. And yeah, so I think that's all. Again, ladies, thank you so much. I'm so thrilled for you. This is going to be a great 6 weeks together, and I will see you in the group soon.